most seniors are told to eat more fruit. But what no one explains is that certain fruits, especially after age 60, can quietly destroy your circulation, weaken your legs, and accelerate muscle loss. This isn't about sugar alone. It's about how your aging body reacts to certain compounds inside these fruits and how they spike blood sugar, drain magnesium, and even impair oxygen flow to your muscles. In this video, you'll discover the 7 fruits seniors should stop eating immediately and what to eat instead to protect your strength, your stamina, and your balance. Bananas if you're not active. Bananas are the poster child of healthy snacks. They're everywhere in gym bags, lunchboxes, morning routines. And for good reason. They're easy to peel, require no preparation, and offer a quick energy boost. But here's what no one tells you: bananas are contextual. That means whether they help you or hurt you depends entirely on your lifestyle. If you're physically active, regularly moving, walking, lifting, sweating, bananas are a fast digesting fuel that your body can put to immediate use. But if you're not, if you're over 60 and living a more sedentary life, then bananas might be silently contributing to your fatigue, belly fat, insulin resistance, and even muscle cramps. Let's start with the obvious. Bananas are sugar bombs in disguise. One medium banana contains about 14 grams of sugar, and while it's natural, it still behaves like sugar in the bloodstream. When you eat a banana, especially on an empty stomach or without protein or fat to buffer it, your blood sugar spikes fast. That spike causes a surge in insulin, the hormone responsible for clearing sugar from your blood and storing it usually as fat. Once that surge ends, your blood sugar drops and you feel it. Fatigue, brain fog, irritability, and often a craving for more sugar to bring it back up. That roller coaster can feel like aging, but it's actually just unstable glucose. Now, if you're active, walking 10,000 steps a day, working out, gardening intensely, your muscles are using that sugar as fuel. Your insulin response is sharp. Your metabolism can handle the spike. But if your day includes long hours sitting, minimal movement, or light housework, that sugar has nowhere to go. So your body stores it primarily in your midsection, which is the most dangerous place to accumulate fat because it surrounds your organs. Over time, this increases your risk for type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and cognitive decline. And the problem isn't just sugar, it's also nutrient imbalance. Bananas are famously high in potassium, which helps regulate heart rhythm, nerve function, and fluid balance. That sounds great until you realize they're low in magnesium. And that matters, because potassium and magnesium are a pair. They work together to support muscle function, hydration, and nerve signaling. When one is high and the other is low, especially in older adults whose magnesium reserves are already depleted from stress, medications, and age, you start getting symptoms. The most common: muscle cramps, leg cramps at night, toe spasms, calf tightness. These aren't always random, they're often signals that your mineral ratios are off. And ironically, many seniors double down on bananas to fix the cramps, thinking more potassium will help when what they actually need is magnesium. The result? The cramps get worse, not better. Your body isn't confused. It's trying to get your attention. So what's the takeaway? It's not that bananas are evil. They're not. They're a tool, but like any tool, they have to be used at the right time, for the right job, by the right person. If you're about to go on a hike, if you're lifting weights, if you're dancing, playing tennis, or doing physical labor, a banana makes sense. Your body is primed to absorb and use that quick energy. But if you're sitting on the couch watching TV, snacking on a banana because it's healthy, you're just spiking your blood sugar without purpose, and your body will pay the price. If you love bananas and want to include them, fine, but upgrade how you eat them. Never eat them on their own. Pair them with protein and healthy fats. Try half a banana with almond butter and cinnamon. Add it to a smoothie with greens, chia seeds, and collagen protein. Or eat it after movement, not as a passive snack. And limit frequency. Every day is too much for a sedentary lifestyle. Once or twice a week, when your body has earned the fuel, is a more realistic rhythm. And if you're experiencing fatigue after breakfast, unexplained weight gain around your stomach, energy crashes mid-morning, or nighttime leg cramps, start tracking your banana habits. Pull them out for 2 weeks and see what happens. Replace them with low glycemic fruits like berries or green apples. Eat more magnesium-rich foods like pumpkin seeds, leafy greens, or dark chocolate. Drink more mineralized water. Support your body's actual needs, not its cravings. We live in a world that loves easy answers, but health is about context. Bananas are not bad, but they are often mismatched. The older you get, the more precision matters. Every bite either supports your energy or robs it. Every food either aligns with your metabolism or clogs the system. And the only way to know is to listen not to trends, but to your own body. So ask yourself honestly, do you feel sharper, lighter, clearer after eating bananas? Or do you feel foggy, tired and bloated an hour later? Your body is speaking. It always is. And sometimes health begins with questioning what you assumed was safe. Bananas aren't bad, but they're not for everyone, every day. Especially if you're not moving. Grapes. They look innocent, refreshing, bite-sized. A bowl of grapes feels like a safe, even virtuous snack, something you reach for instead of candy or chips. And for years, you've probably been told they're heart-healthy, full of antioxidants like resveratrol, good for your skin, even protective against disease. But for older adults, especially those not moving much or dealing with sluggish circulation, grapes can quietly become one of the most deceptive triggers of inflammation and metabolic dysfunction in your daily diet. Here's why. Grapes are almost pure sugar in disguise. That soft skin and juicy inside. It's loaded with glucose and fructose, two forms of sugar that hit your bloodstream fast. A single handful, just 15 to 20 grapes, can pack over 20 grams of sugar, more than what's in a small candy bar. And unlike a candy bar, grapes don't come with a label that makes you pause. They don't feel indulgent, they feel natural. But natural doesn't mean neutral. And for a senior body that's less efficient at processing sugar, grapes can cause more harm than you think, especially when eaten mindlessly throughout the day. The problem starts with the glucose spike. Grapes hit your bloodstream fast, and the result is a rapid increase in blood sugar. In a younger, more insulin-sensitive body, this spike is quickly managed. But for older adults, especially those dealing with insulin resistance, pre-diabetes, or reduced pancreatic function, this sugar lingers. It creates a roller coaster of spikes and crashes, flooding your system with insulin one moment, then draining your energy the next. And every time this happens, the body pays a price: increased inflammation, weakened capillary walls, and stress on the vascular system. That's when you start to feel it. Swelling in the ankles, puffiness in the fingers, heaviness in the legs by afternoon. These aren't just signs of bad circulation. They're signals of glycemic overload, your body struggling to clear sugar from the blood, retain fluid balance, and maintain vascular tone. Grapes may seem light, but their metabolic impact is heavy, especially if you're already dealing with issues like varicose veins, neuropathy, tingling in the limbs, or restless legs at night. Grapes can quietly fuel the very problems you're trying to ease. And the irony: most seniors snack on grapes between meals when their insulin is already unstable and their digestion is slower. This not only raises blood sugar unpredictably, but it also taxes the liver, which has to process the sugar that wasn't burned for energy. And if you're not moving, if you're seated, reading, watching TV, or resting after lunch, that sugar has nowhere to go. It gets stored. And where does it usually end up? The belly, the liver, and the bloodstream. Over time, this increases belly fat, fatty liver, triglycerides, and systemic inflammation. Now, do grapes contain antioxidants? Yes. Specifically resveratrol, which has been linked to cardiovascular benefits. But here's the truth: you'd need pounds of grapes to get a therapeutic dose of resveratrol, and by that point, you've flooded your body with so much sugar that the benefit is buried under metabolic stress. If you really want resveratrol, you'd be better off taking a supplement or getting it from fermented, low-sugar sources like red wine in moderation. Grapes aren't harmful because they lack nutrition. They're harmful because they overwhelm the system with sugar before any benefits can take hold. So what's the alternative? If you enjoy fruit, there are safer options. Berries are lower in sugar and higher in fiber. A handful of raspberries or blueberries provides antioxidants, supports blood vessels, and has far less glycemic impact. Even sliced green apple with cinnamon or pears in moderation give you the sweetness without the sugar bomb. And if you're going to eat fruit, do it with a meal, not alone. Combine it with fat, protein, or fiber to blunt the glucose response. Never snack on grapes in isolation, especially not in the afternoon or evening when your insulin sensitivity is lowest. And this is the point that matters most. Your body changes with age. What worked in your 30s may no longer serve you in your 60s or 70s. Your ability to tolerate sugar, regulate blood pressure, manage fluid retention, and circulate blood efficiently declines. And that's not your fault. But it is your responsibility to adapt. Grapes might have been fine when you were chasing kids around or running errands all day. But now, when activity is lower and recovery is slower, you must become more selective, not restrictive, intentional. So if you're struggling with swelling, fatigue after meals, restless legs, or tingling in your feet, ask yourself honestly, how often are grapes part of your routine? Are they helping? Or are they just a habit, a quiet indulgence in the name of health? The body doesn't lie. It speaks through symptoms. And if yours is sending signals, it's time to listen. Grapes are not evil, but they are mismatched for many seniors. Don't be fooled by the word fruit. Be guided by how you feel. Light, energized, sharp, or swollen, tired and foggy. Your circulation, your insulin, and your energy all deserve better than a fruit that tricks your system while pretending to nourish it. Know your body, honor your biology, and don't let sugar wear a healthy disguise. Watermelon. It's summer's favorite fruit. Sweet, juicy, refreshing. It reminds you of family picnics, long afternoons, and childhood laughter. There's something undeniably nostalgic about slicing into a big wedge of watermelon on a warm day. The bright pink flesh, the coolness, the simplicity. And culturally, watermelon has earned a reputation as one of the healthy fruits. After all, it's mostly water. It's hydrating. It's light. But here's the hard truth most people don't want to say out loud: watermelon is one of the worst fruits you can snack on regularly if you're over 60 and inactive. Not because it's unnatural, but because your body can no longer afford the blood sugar chaos it creates. Let's start with what watermelon is. About 92% water and the rest mostly sugar. There's very little fiber, very little fat, and no real protein to slow digestion. That means when you eat it, especially on an empty stomach or without any other food to balance it, it hits your bloodstream fast. In scientific terms, it has a high glycemic index, around 72 to 80 depending on ripeness. That's higher than white bread. And when you're older, when insulin sensitivity naturally declines, when your pancreas isn't as responsive, when blood sugar regulation becomes more fragile, that kind of spike creates a metabolic storm. Your blood sugar shoots up. You feel a quick rush, maybe even a false sense of energy. But within 30 to 60 minutes, that sugar crashes, leaving you weaker than before. Your hands might feel shaky. Your legs might feel heavier. Your thinking fuzzier. And if this cycle repeats day after day, snack after snack, your blood vessels start to suffer, especially the capillaries in your feet, hands, and brain. Watermelon might taste light, but its effects are anything but. Here's what's rarely talked about. Chronic high glycemic foods damage your microcirculation. That's the network of tiny vessels that deliver oxygen and nutrients to your fingers, toes, eyes, and brain. Over time, spikes in blood sugar inflame these vessels, making them stiff and dysfunctional. Blood doesn't flow as easily. Tissues don't receive the nutrients they need. And you begin to feel the early symptoms. Cold hands and feet, numbness or tingling, restless legs at night, lightheadedness when standing, or even slower wound healing in the lower legs. These aren't just signs of aging. They're signs of poor circulation, and your fruit choices can either help or harm that process. Now add in the reality that most watermelon is consumed alone mid-afternoon, after lunch, or as a snack. It's rarely paired with protein or fat. That means there's no buffer. It slides into your system like liquid sugar. And the bigger the portion, the more damage is done. You don't need to eat a whole melon to feel it. Just a few slices a day can build a pattern of instability in your blood sugar and circulation. And for older adults, especially those with prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, or metabolic syndrome, this is a recipe for long-term decline. Even worse, that refreshing feeling is misleading. People eat watermelon thinking it's hydrating, but without the minerals sodium, potassium, magnesium to hold that water in your cells, it passes right through you. That can leave you feeling more dehydrated than before. You may find yourself urinating more frequently, then feeling oddly fatigued, with dry mouth and dizziness that doesn't match the amount of water you thought you were consuming. Again, not always aging. Often electrolyte imbalance caused by poor hydration strategy. Watermelon gives you water, but not the elements needed to hold it. So what can you do? You don't need to swear off watermelon for life, but you need to stop eating it mindlessly. If you're going to have it, treat it like a dessert, not a hydration tool. Eat a small portion after a balanced meal, not on an empty stomach. Pair it with fat or protein, a few almonds, a slice of cheese, a boiled egg. This helps stabilize your blood sugar and slow absorption. And most importantly, don't eat it every day. Reserve it for moments, not habits, and watch how your energy, your balance, your focus responds. If you've been feeling tired for no reason, if your legs feel like they're dragging, if your mornings are foggy or your afternoons are crashing, take a hard look at what you're snacking on. You may think you're making the right choice, but your body, especially over 60, doesn't process watermelon like it used to. What once was harmless now comes at a cost. Circulation matters, blood flow matters, clarity matters, and every bite sends a signal, either toward health or away from it. So next time you reach for a slice of watermelon, ask yourself, am I fueling my body or flooding it? Your answer will shape how you feel the rest of the day. Fruit juice, all types. It's one of the biggest lies in the grocery store, one that's been sold to you since childhood. That a glass of orange juice with breakfast is healthy. That apple juice is a smart alternative to soda. That grape juice boosts your heart. The labels say it all. 100% juice, no added sugar, immune support, packed with vitamin C. It sounds like nourishment. It feels like a responsible choice. But if you're over 60, especially if you're not exercising regularly, drinking juice every day is not only unhelpful, it's quietly wrecking your blood vessels, your metabolism, and your ability to stay steady on your feet. Here's the truth no one's marketing to you. Fruit juice is just concentrated sugar. It doesn't matter if it's organic. It doesn't matter if it's cold pressed, fresh squeezed, or free of additives. Once you strip the fiber from a fruit, once you remove the chewing, the fullness, the slow digestion, what you're left with is liquid sugar that slams your liver, spikes your blood sugar, and accelerates aging. And the older you get, the harder it is to recover from that damage. Let's break this down. 1 glass of orange juice, just 8 ounces, contains around 21 to 26 grams of sugar, most of it in the form of fructose. That's equivalent to about 5 or 6 teaspoons of sugar in one sitting. But you don't feel like you just had dessert. You feel like you did something good, because the industry trained you to see juice as a vitamin. But fructose doesn't behave like glucose. It doesn't go directly into your bloodstream to be used by your muscles. It's processed almost entirely in the liver. And when you dump large doses of fructose into the liver, day after day, especially without fiber or movement, the result is predictable and devastating: fatty liver, insulin resistance, and inflammation. Your liver, already slower due to age, gets overwhelmed. It starts storing excess fructose as visceral fat, the dangerous fat that wraps around your organs. And this visceral fat doesn't just sit there. It releases hormones and inflammatory signals that damage your blood vessels, slow down muscle recovery, and increase your risk of falls, swelling, and mobility decline. And all of this can begin from something as innocent as a daily glass of juice. Worse, many seniors drink juice first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. That means no food to slow digestion, no fiber to bind the sugar, and no nutrients to buffer the hit. Your blood sugar skyrockets, insulin surges, and within an hour or two, you crash tired, foggy, craving more sugar. And if you pair that juice with toast or cereal, you've just layered sugar on sugar on sugar. Your pancreas goes into overdrive, your circulation weakens, and your legs feel it. That heavy, unstable sensation when walking, that wobbliness on stairs, that struggle to maintain balance after a meal. That's not just aging. That's sugar-induced vascular fatigue. And it's not just orange juice. Apple juice, grape juice, cranberry juice, pomegranate juice, even the no-sugar added versions all hit the body the same way. Without fiber, your body treats them like soft drinks. In fact, most juices contain just as much sugar as soda, and sometimes more. They flood the bloodstream with calories that don't satisfy. You drink them, but you don't feel full. You just feel off, bloated, slow, and oddly depleted. And then comes the worst part. Your body stops responding to insulin properly. That's called insulin resistance, and it's the first domino that leads to metabolic disease. It's why some seniors gain weight even while eating less. It's why belly fat becomes stubborn. It's why energy disappears after walking even a short distance. Because once insulin stops working well, your muscles can't pull in fuel. Your circulation doesn't adapt, and your ability to stay upright, steady, and clear-minded becomes compromised. So let's say it plainly, if you're drinking juice every day, stop now. It's not hydrating you. It's not protecting you. It's not giving you real energy. It's hurting you. Even fresh juice at home, even the kind with pulp, it's all missing the one thing that makes fruit healthy: fiber. You're not drinking fruit, you're drinking fruit's sugar. And here's what's wild: many seniors feel better within days of quitting juice. Their bloating drops, their legs feel lighter, they feel more stable when they stand. Their hunger levels normalize. That cloudy afternoon crash, gone. Because when you stop flooding your bloodstream with fructose, your liver stops gasping. Your insulin starts functioning again, and your muscles, brain, and gut begin to sync up. If you want hydration, drink water. If you want flavor, add lemon, cucumber, or mint. If you want nutrients, eat the whole fruit with the skin and pulp intact. Apples, berries, pears. They still contain sugar, but it's packaged in fiber, so it enters the system gently, safely, respectfully. That's how nature designed fruit to work. Juice is a hijacking of that design, a shortcut that comes with a steep price. So the next time you reach for a bottle of juice, ask yourself, am I drinking this for my health or for a habit that's keeping me stuck? Because your body is speaking, in your circulation, in your balance, in your cravings, and it's not whispering anymore. Break the cycle. Ditch the juice. Your liver, your blood vessels, your legs, and your clarity will thank you. Dried fruits. They're tiny, sweet, and easy to stash in a bag or bowl. A handful of raisins here, a few dried apricots after dinner, some dates with almonds in the afternoon. Dried fruits have become the healthy candy, the thing people reach for when they're trying to avoid desserts but still want something sweet, and the marketing doesn't help. You see phrases like no added sugar, gluten-free, natural, antioxidant-rich. But let's make something clear: dried fruit is not a healthy snack for most seniors. In fact, for many, it's a metabolic and hydration disaster hiding behind a health halo. To understand why, you need to look beyond the size and the label. A raisin is not just a grape. A date is not just fruit. Once you dry a fruit, you remove one of its most important ingredients, water. And with that water gone, the sugar inside becomes hyper-concentrated. What was once a juicy bite of balanced nutrition becomes a calorie-dense, fiber-light, sugar-heavy bomb that the body processes more like a piece of candy than anything resembling whole food. Let's look at the numbers. A single date contains about 16 grams of sugar, more than a cookie. 1 cup of raisins, over 85 grams of sugar. That's like drinking 2 cans of soda, but without the liquid. And because dried fruit is small, people eat it by the handful. They don't chew slowly. They don't get full, so it's easy to consume 3, 4, 5 times the sugar your body can handle in one sitting without even realizing it. This sugar surge does immediate damage. Your blood sugar spikes, your insulin rises, and your energy, brain, and mood ride the roller coaster that follows. You may feel a burst of energy at first, maybe a bit of satisfaction. But within an hour, your blood sugar plummets and you're left feeling tired, sluggish, maybe even irritable. And because there's no fiber or hydration to balance that load, your digestive system gets backed up, your joints feel tighter, and your muscles lose elasticity. And here's where it gets even worse for older adults. Dried fruits dehydrate you. Your muscles, ligaments, and organs rely on water to stay supple and functional. Water gives your joints glide. It helps your heart pump smoothly. It keeps your skin from thinning and your digestion from slowing. But dried fruits, despite sounding moist and chewy, pull water from your system to be digested. They absorb fluid as they break down in your gut, fluid your aging body can't afford to lose. That's why you often feel bloated, cramped, or even constipated after eating dried fruits. Your system is drying out from the inside and you're feeding it more dryness. Now add this to the fact that many dried fruits are coated in oil to prevent sticking or infused with added sugars, especially cranberries, pineapple, and mango. Even the ones labeled no added sugar can contain preservatives like sulfur dioxide, which can irritate the lungs and digestive tract in sensitive individuals. These are not clean foods. They're processed products stripped of water, loaded with sugar, and preserved for shelf life, not for your life. And the impact shows up: subtly tight calves, restless legs at night, increased joint pain, slower recovery after walking, muscle fatigue that doesn't match your effort, dry mouth even after drinking water, dizziness when standing, or a constant craving for more snacks. These are not just signs of aging. They're signs that your body is being thrown off balance by what you eat, and dried fruits are often a hidden trigger. So what's the solution? It's simple. Cut them out or treat them like dessert. If you're going to eat dried fruit, do it rarely. Eat only a small amount: 2 dates, not 8. 5 raisins, not a handful. And always with something that slows the sugar, protein, fat or fiber. Better yet, swap them out completely. Eat fresh fruit, a few slices of apple, pear or berries. These still contain sugar, yes, but also water, fiber and volume. They satisfy you with less impact. Your body digests them more slowly. Your blood sugar stays steadier, and your hydration is supported, not stolen. And if you're reaching for dried fruits out of habit, as something to chew during TV, to satisfy that afternoon slump, or to be good instead of eating chocolate, pause. Ask yourself what your body really wants. Is it energy? Is it connection? Is it hydration? Dried fruit is easy, but it doesn't solve the real problem. It just covers it in sugar. You deserve more than that. So the next time you pass that trail mix, or those little boxes of raisins, or those fancy organic medjool dates at the store, remember this: small doesn't mean safe. Sweet doesn't mean smart. And if your joints are stiffer, your energy is lower, your cravings are stronger, or your digestion is slower than it used to be, dried fruits may be silently holding you back. Don't fall for health food marketing. Don't let nostalgia trick your biology. Feed your body what it actually needs: hydration, stability, clarity, real nourishment, not dry sugar in disguise. Canned fruit in syrup. At first glance, it feels like a harmless convenience. A tin of peaches, a cup of pears, slices of pineapple soaking in sweet golden syrup. You tell yourself it's still fruit, and after all, fruit is healthy, right? It's not cake, it's not a donut, it's not candy. But here's the unspoken truth most seniors never hear until it's too late. Once fruit is canned in syrup, it stops being food and becomes a metabolic threat. It's not just less healthy, it's dangerous in disguise. And if you're over 60, struggling with circulation, energy dips, leg swelling or tingling in your feet, this health food might be one of the culprits pulling you down. Let's be clear, canned fruit in syrup is not fruit anymore. It's fruit stripped, softened and soaked in sugar water. The syrup isn't just sweet, it's often made from high fructose corn syrup, one of the most inflammatory substances in the modern food supply. This isn't the kind of sugar your body can burn off with a brisk walk. This is the kind that sneaks straight into your bloodstream, overwhelms your liver, and damages the endothelium, the thin, delicate lining of your blood vessels that controls how blood flows to your heart, brain, muscles, and most critically, your legs. That's where the real damage begins. When the endothelium is inflamed, which it often is in seniors who consume syrup-laced foods, circulation slows. Blood no longer moves cleanly to your lower body. The vessels constrict, the oxygen delivery drops, and the tissues in your legs, feet, and toes suffer. That's when you start to notice the signs. More swelling, especially in the ankles. A heavier feeling in your legs after sitting or walking. Numbness or tingling in your feet that comes and goes without explanation. Or the creeping realization that you just don't move as freely anymore, not because your muscles are weak, but because your blood flow is compromised. This isn't just aging. It's diet-induced vascular dysfunction, and canned fruit in syrup is one of the fastest ways to trigger it. And here's the deceptive part. You think you're making a good choice. The label says peaches or fruit cocktail. It's shelf-stable, easy to open, served in hospitals, retirement homes, and even labeled light or in light syrup, as if that somehow makes it better. But light syrup is still syrup. A small can often contains 20 to 30 grams of sugar in one sitting. That's more than a candy bar, and it doesn't come with the guilt, so people eat it more often. After breakfast, with lunch, as a healthy dessert. And each time, you're flooding your body with sugar that spikes your insulin, disrupts your digestion, and inflames your vascular system, all without ever making you feel full. That's because canned fruit in syrup doesn't just add sugar, it removes what fruit was meant to offer. No fiber, no hydration, no structure, The heat from processing breaks down the cellular integrity of the fruit, leaving behind soft, lifeless flesh that digests rapidly and provides almost no real nourishment. Your body treats it like candy because, biologically, that's exactly what it is. The chew is gone. The fullness is gone. All that remains is sweetness and syrup, and your blood vessels are paying the price. And you feel that price in small, frustrating ways. The way your legs ache after standing for a while. The way you need to elevate your feet more often. That strange tightness in your calves. That shakiness in your thighs when going upstairs. These aren't random symptoms. They're signals, quiet cries from your circulation that your endothelial lining is inflamed, your blood viscosity is rising, and your oxygen delivery is slowing down. The worst part, over time, this damage becomes normalized. You start thinking, maybe I'm just getting older. But the truth is, your body is fighting unnecessary friction, and it's losing. Because when blood can't flow freely, everything gets harder. Walking, thinking, healing, sleeping. And no pill will reverse what daily sugar from canned fruit is doing at a microvascular level. So what should you do? Simple. Eliminate canned fruit in syrup completely. There's no moderation with this one. It doesn't serve your biology. It doesn't offer protection. It doesn't help you age well. If you want fruit, eat fresh, whole, seasonal fruit with the skin on when possible. If that's not available, opt for unsweetened frozen fruit or fruit packed in water or its own juice only, and even then, read the label carefully. Drain it, rinse it, reduce the sugar exposure, and most of all, listen to your body. After cutting out canned fruit in syrup, many seniors report feeling lighter, less swollen, more mentally clear, and even less dependent on their walking aids. That's not magic. That's the body finally working without interference. That's blood flowing where it needs to. That's tissues getting oxygen again. That's aging on your terms, not aging under the weight of fake fruit. So no, canned peaches are not harmless. Pineapple in syrup is not light. And those small plastic fruit cups handed out in medical settings, they're not nourishment. They're sabotage in a spoon. Your legs are asking for freedom. Your heart is asking for ease. Your blood is asking for room to move. Say no to syrup. Say yes to real food, real health, real circulation. And give your body the chance to move like it still remembers how to, because it does. Overripe mangoes. Mangoes are healthy when eaten in moderation and with fat, but overripe mangoes contain higher sugar and lower fiber. This floods your system, weakens insulin response, and leaves you feeling dizzy or heavy in the legs. Seniors often add mango to smoothies or desserts, unaware of how much it sabotages their circulation. What to eat instead? Berries, especially blueberries and raspberries, high in antioxidants, low in sugar, protect blood vessels. Apples with skin raw, high in fiber, regulate blood sugar. Avocados, technically a fruit, packed with potassium and healthy fats to support muscle tone. Not all fruit is friendly after 60. Some will spike your sugar, damage your legs, and silently steal your strength. Avoid the 7 listed above, and fuel your body with fruits that protect, not poison your muscles. Because if your legs go, your freedom follows. Walk strong, choose wisely.